You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Days of Our Lives fans, it is time for our weekly prediction edition. We're going to talk about whether Doug has a secret grandson, Xander's double bromance, and Alex spilling the beans. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt with predictions for Chanel, Joy, and Johnny, for Alex and Joy, for Sarah and Xander, for Bonnie and Hattie, and for Doug and this mystery guy. If you have not, please reach down, click subscribe, and remember, our predictions are always based on official soap spoilers and promos and action on recent episodes. So our first prediction is that Chanel invites Joy over for Thanksgiving to watch her with Johnny and to very closely watch their interactions. So last week, Chanel was very suspicious after she listened to Johnny talking about Joy in his sleep, and he came up with, for me, what was kind of a BS explanation for it, but Chanel's so nice. She seemed to believe it, but I don't know if she actually did. Spoilers for Wednesday, the 27th, have Johnny and Joy in yet another awkward situation, and I suspect it's Thanksgiving dinner, and Chanel has invited her over. Remember, Nancy asked them to keep an eye on Joy because she's new in town, and Chanel's been great. She's had her over for dinner, over to watch the debut of the soap. You know, Johnny doesn't want Joy there. Joy doesn't want to be there because it's so awkward, but they really can't protest too much because otherwise it just looks so dodgy. And so I just wonder if after the nightmare and how suspect that all was, if Chanel is going to be watching them, watching their interaction and trying to figure out if there's something there that she needs to be concerned about. And obviously we all know there is, and it's going to blow up pretty soon. Our second prediction, speaking of things blowing up, Alex is going to tell Chanel about Joy and Johnny, I believe. So on Friday, Alex woke up when he had, barfed up his guts over the body and soul cupcake, and Joy stayed to keep an eye on him. They had been running lines when he ate the cup. I think he ate the cupcake like right before she got there, and he got super sick. And for whatever reason, stupidity, sloppy writing, Joy decided to tell Alex she slept with Johnny and explained that, she didn't know who Johnny was or who Chanel was, or that she was going to be working with them. She thought he was just this random cute guy, and it's all blowing up in her face. On Monday, the 25th, Joy begs Alex to keep her secret, according to spoilers. And then there's the whole awkward situation on Wednesday, the 27th, which again, I think is going to be Thanksgiving at the mansion. That same day, Chanel has some good news for Paulina. So it sounds like Chanel doesn't know by Wednesday. I tend to think that Alex won't spill until after Doug's funeral. Not that any of them specifically should be involved with that, but I think that's just going to take up a lot of the episode time, but we'll see. I just can't see Alex sitting on this. Chanel is his friend. Johnny is clearly in the wrong, and Alex is no fan of his right now. So that's why I think it's going to come out sooner rather than later. Our third prediction, Sarah's cure, I think is going to change Xander's life so much for the better, not just in the fact that his wife is walking, but I think he's gonna get this double dose of bromance that is only going to improve his life. So Sarah's making progress, and if you watch Friday's episode, she was on her feet. She had a crutch, but or a cane. She was taking steps. And before she took those steps, there was that amazing scene. I loved it, with Xander and Brady, where there was lots of forgiveness, and Xander offered Brady his job back at Basic Black. And I feel like that was the start of a real bromance. And I think it's not going to be the only one. I think it's going to be one of two bromances coming to Xander's life. Tuesday, the 26th, spoilers, have Xander happy to bring Sarah home from the hospital. And you can see that, Xander is so thrilled about Sarah's cure. He's in such a good mood, and he can do something that he's not done since he got close to Jack and then screwed it up. And that is have some friends in his life. I think Brady could be a good friend to Xander. They've both had a lot of problems. They both have a lot in common, their family, and so that's the first bromance. But Xander may also get another bromance with an actual brother of his, Philip Kiriakis. There's a scene in the Day of Days promo with those two smiling happily and high-fiving, and I would love to see Xander with guy friends and a happy marriage, happy life, and putting his villainous past behind him. And I think all of that is possible. Our fourth prediction, Bonnie takes a big fall, but Hattie is not the culprit in that or in this cupcake caper either. So the cupcake incident, of course, was last week, and only the guys wound up poisoned, but the entire cast and crew were all targeted, which means none of them should be the culprit. And Friday's episode this past week showed that Chanel's Bakery was not involved, and Bonnie immediately thought it was Hattie. She actually was worried about the cupcakes even before anybody knew that there was a problem. And Jada has got an APB out on Hattie. And in the Day of Days promo, there's an open elevator shaft and Bonnie falls down. And that's exactly the way that Hattie's character was set to die. Remember, they had to have Marlena do the fall. And Justin is quite certain that it was not an accident when Bonnie fell, which is coming up. And I agree. But I also think that it is not Hattie. She looks like the obvious culprit, and that's why I don't think it's her. I do think she will be assumed to be the poisoner and the one who set up Bonnie's fall because she cursed the show. But I do think the culprit is a lunatic fan of Body and Soul, and I'll let you guys think about that. Our fifth and final prediction, I am wondering if Doug Williams has a secret grandson and if he's the mystery man who shows up to the funeral the week after next. So on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, spoilers have Jack and Jennifer back in Salem. Jack goes upstairs. He cannot wake up Doug. He has passed away in his sleep. And of course, we all know Bill Hayes died back in January. Jack comes down and tells Julie, and Jen calls and tells Hope the terrible news that her father has passed away. Eli and Lonnie and JJ are in Salem, and Will is supposed to be coming soon. Doug's funeral is set for Wednesday, December 4th, which of course also will be a tribute for Bill Hayes. Julie's brother Stephen Olsen is coming. Marie Horton, Liz Chandler, Sierra Brady, Lucas Horton. Mourners are flowing into town. And in the Day of Days promo, there is a young man that Julie runs into at the cemetery near Doug's grave. And it's played by ex-Disney kid Peyton Meyer. If you don't know this kid, seen him on Disney shows with my kids around. He's 25 now. And I wonder if he is Doug's previously unknown grandson and if we are getting a new generation. And so let me explain. He could be Douglas LeClaire's kid. So if you don't remember, Douglas LeClaire was born in 1976 via IVF. Peyton Meyer, this actor, was born in 1998. So he is the right age to be Douglas, who was also called Dougie, to be Dougie's kid. And Julie seems absolutely stunned to see him in the promo. I've got a picture for you of Peyton Meyer and then a younger Doug from the show just to kind of show you, I think it could work. So way back in the day, Doug had hired this nanny to help raise Hope after her mother died. That nanny's name was Rebecca. And then Doug decided he didn't want Hope to be an only child, and he wanted a surrogate to have his child. And so the doctor that he was working with decided that Nanny Rebecca would be a good surrogate. And so they had the sperm donation and, did the IVF. Anyway, after Doug married Julie, they decided they wanted kids of their own. So he told Nanny Rebecca to keep the kid, keep the cash, and just go. And so off they went. So I just wonder if Peyton Meyer might be playing Doug's secret grandson that we've never heard of before, and he might be there to help ease Julie's pain because he reminds her of her beloved husband that she lost. We'll see.
thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.